Okay. All right. So I'm just going to make a quick demonstration on how to make a 2x4 in SketchUp. And I know there are a few videos out there on how to do this, but I'm just going to show really quick. And this is just a basic beginner video. Very first thing I would do is I would make sure that you have the right tools up here in the top. So first things first, just right click and make sure you have construction, drawing, getting started, and measurements. And no, you won't need those for everything I'm going to do right now, but those are just the basics. They're kind of the fundamentals, and that's what I'd recommend you have. I'd also make sure that you have the default tray up here. You are going to need that for what I'm doing. So you'll need that default tray. And the way you open up that default tray is you just go to Window and Default Tray right there. And there's Hide, and if it's hidden, then it'll say Show. So you need those things. So make sure you've got that. And then in this drop-down menu, you're going to find Wood right there. And when you pull that up, it'll give you all the wood designs. And you know there's all kinds of different ones here. The one I'm going to use is just wood veneer. But it doesn't matter. It just makes it so that it looks like a piece of wood. All right, so to do this, this is a really simple way of making this. The simplest way is for you to first of all grab a rectangle maker right here, and once you've got that, you're gonna click. Whoops. You're gonna click and drag, and while you're dragging, you're gonna look down here in this bottom corner right there. So you're looking in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the measurements changing, okay? And you can put this any way you want. I'll put it clear out here like this, and then I'm going to start typing. Well, you'll notice in the very first one, in fact, let that go. You'll notice down here, the first increment here is the length, and then it's a comma, and then there's a second increment, and that's the width. So as I drag this, if I drag this way, the second number grows more. If I drag this way, the first number grows or grows more. So, all right, pretty obvious. So, but I'm going to go out like this, and I'm going to start typing. I want this to be an 8-foot piece of a 2x4, right? But a 2x4 is actually a 1.5 by 3.5. It's not actually 2 inches and 4 inches. And so, if you don't know that, you need to spend more time at Home Depot. All right, so very first thing is I'm going to start typing in. The length is first. So I'm going to go 8. You should be watching that bottom left corner. I'm going to go 8 feet, comma, space, and then I'm going to do the longer side first. So 3.5 inches. And when I hit enter, that'll just make that. So it's there. And if you want to prove for yourself that it worked, you go up to your tape measure right here, or you can just hit T. And so you'll grab this edge, go to here, and it says right there, 8 feet. Or you can go from here over to this one, and it says 3.5 inches. So it's perfect for the two lengths, and now we need to make it 3D. So, and you can quickly, my mouse does this automatically. If I push down on the wheel, if I scroll the wheel, it zooms in and out. But if I push down on it and move the mouse, it gives me this rotation where I can rotate it any way I want to, as long as I'm holding that mouse wheel down. So, all right, so now we want to make this 3D. And the way you do that is you're going to go to this guy right here. It's called the push-pull. Grab that, and any edge you select over and you click and drag, it'll lift it up. So one thing I should point out really quickly is if you look over here in this default tray, this little instructor tab is genius. It's so nice because any tool you grab up here, it's going to show you how to use that tool. Everything you grab, it'll show you exactly how to use it. And it's just very handy. All right. Next, the push and pull. So on the push and pull, we're going to grab this. We're going to click down, and we're going to lift up. And you can lift up as high as you want. Doesn't matter because we're going to type again. Now we're going to type 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. And then enter. Now you have a perfectly designed 3.5 by 1.5 by 8 feet, or an 8-foot 2x4. Okay, so next thing is we want to give it a design, right? And that's where I showed you up here with the default tray. Literally, if you just click any one of these designs, it's going to put that color on there. So click on it, and it'll change it. Very, very simple. I didn't ask for you. Really, really easy to do. Yeah. And then you just click every single side, and it's easy. Very simple. That's it. That's how you make a 2x4. Pretty rough. So now, that's the first way. That's the really easy way. Now, let's say that this is an 8-foot piece, and like I said, 1.5 by 3.5, and we want it to be a 10-foot piece. So to do that, all you're going to do is go back up to that push-pull, and you're going to find the side you want to drag. So if we want to make this a 10-foot, we grab that, pull it forward, and then just hit 2 with, and then feet. Hit enter. Boom. And now this thing should be, and I like this tool right here too. So I'm up here on the top. You see this little guy here, this dimension? This is pretty cool too. It'll show you exactly what your dimensions are. So if you go from here to here and then drag it out, it tells you you're at 10 feet. So it's a good way of showing measurements for video like this or something, but works pretty well. All right. So we're at 10 feet. Now let's say we want a 2x6, right? Instead of a 2x4. So instead of the 4 right here, we want that to be 6 or 5.5. So exact same thing. Grab the push-pull, grab this edge, start pulling out. And then you go 5.5 inches, or excuse me, feet, and enter. Oh, 5.5 feet. I did that wrong. Undo that. All right. Pull that out. And we just need 5.5 inches. So 5.5 inches. Oh, and actually, you're adding on to what you already did. So if you do 5.5, then you're actually going to have 9. 3.5 plus 5.5. So if you're going 3.5 to 5.5, you're just going to add 2. So sorry, I misled you there. So you go 2 inches and oops, 2 inches and enter. And there you go. Now you have a 2x6 at 10 feet. So this works really, really well. If you ever needed to cut a piece off, that is, there's multiple ways, but let's say you need to do an angle cut. Well, we've only been asked to make this, so that'll get you started. I imagine I'm probably gonna do more, but we'll leave it at that for now. Pretty quick, pretty easy. I imagine this will be the most common way you do this, more than anything else. Oh, that's another thing you need to know is that this is not one solid piece right now. Right now, it's a bunch of different pieces. You can see that I'm selecting a bunch of stuff. If you need it to be one solid piece, which you're going to need that a lot, you need to group it. So what you'll do is you'll grab the whole thing, you right click, and make it a group or a component. Component works in a little bit different way. You have to play with that to see how it works, but make it a group. Now, if I select it, I select the whole thing. I'm not selecting one little edge. So if I do that and I go to move it, then I'm moving everything all at one time. Plus, I can flip it. You see how it's got the little thing right there? If you highlight over that little red cross, it'll give you a circular measurement to be able to rotate this thing. And it'll do that on every side. So you got one right here too, right? So you can grab it like that and you can just rotate it. Very simple. So there's all kinds of neat little tricks, and I could probably go on and on and on forever on this stuff because you'll learn some really cool tricks. Anyway, there you go. That's how you make a quick 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, whatever you need.